And we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That's Steve's thing. I'm not gonna take that, but it felt right now. I hope everybody is doing awesome. I am more alert than normal. Not because I slept a lot last night, but I had to go to an early morning doctor's appointment, and so I had to get up and I was like, I'm gonna shower. And then I had time to have Aaron made a nice breakfast. I had most of my coffee. It's pretty cold now, but I think I've been awake longer than normal before a stream starts. So hope everyone is doing awesome. I did want to give a heads up that something's going on with my computer. If you guys remember last week, I think there was a delay because I couldn't get Spotify to work. And it was similar right now. Like, I have no control over Spotify. I could double click the playlist, but like the tracks won't load. I have no control over, I think I might be able to skip song, but like I can't select the song. And then maybe like 7 minutes before I was gonna go live, I was looking at OBS and noticed that like if I moved, it was choppy. Like you'd see hand go here, then hand go here, then hand go here. And I thought, okay, maybe it's a camera thing. So I switched cameras and it was the same thing. I think it's the computer. I have no idea what is potentially failing. It's not a new computer. Like I haven't built or looked at PC specs in a long time because like my daily driver is a Mac, but it is, let's see, we are rocking a i9-9900K, which at the time was new and good. I don't know how old that is now. We've got 32 gigs of RAM and it's running, I think I said, what was it, like a 10, what are we running in here? It is a RTX 2060, so nothing too powerful. I probably bought that, it was definitely during lockdowns, so it was probably 2021. So I don't know what's failing. I'm saddened by it. I don't want to upgrade, or I definitely don't want to buy a whole new PC. So I'm hoping I can just figure out, like, isolate the issue and just swap that out, but we'll see. But anyways, I guess long story short, if something isn't ancient, if something goes wrong, please let me know, because if there is a time that something would go wrong, I think now would be that time, and I will do my best to catch it. So let's see who's here today. We got Rob in the house, a Bearded Bucket's here, Candyman, hello, Lisa, Ranch, Zombies here, Kenneth, I think I just said Ranch, I did. GPs, how's it going? Starry stepped away, no worries. Lord Git, Hasio is here. Gorilla Biscuits, that's a new name. Tuxedo, TJ, how's it going? Tulsa, I think I said Lord Git. Mad Dog Jeff in the house. John's here. Swede Prince, Swed. Hello, hello. Oh no, it's Mike. How's it going? I think that's most hobos here. I think I got most people. Maybe. Did my best. Under the mat is here as well, and Man of the Croc. Nice, he's not here. So this is it. This is the final stream of the Micron Plus, and it is like 99% done. I had like a laundry list of things last week that I was gonna get done before today, and I got done with all of them but one, and the one thing is like a pretty minor detail. So let's take a quick look to see if we won't, I don't know what I'm trying to say. And I will show you guys everything I did. So since last week, what have I done? So the LED wasn't working, which we didn't catch on stream. I found out that the cable, the extension cable, had polarities swapped, and so instead of being 24 volts and ground like it should be up here, it was ground and 24 volts. So I used my multimeter, figured that out, swapped pins, cool. Now we have LED light that's working. I put panels on, so all the panels are on except for the front door. The issue I ran into was that I ran out of tape. I don't have enough tape for the front door, and I did reach out to Jason, and Jason made it sound like maybe there wasn't supposed to be tape on the back panel, which is totally a possibility. The only issue with that is that these little like quick, I think these are originally Annex design things, but these like quick panel snap-on things, the depth of them requires you to have foam on all panels. Otherwise you'd need shorter ones for the back panel. So I'm not really sure. I did end up ordering more foam, and so ta-da, we have foam, but it literally just showed up, and so I'm not gonna worry about putting the door on right now. I PID tuned it, I checked rotation distance, that was fine. I got the, let's see, I got all this back stuff mounted on. Let's see, oh, I don't have, I have autofocus. Hold on, this is also looks like they might have a little bit of white balance issues. Let's drop that down a little bit, like that, maybe like that. So I got all of the, let's do manual focus also. all this stuff is done. So the kit came with ECAS fittings, and the ECAS fitting did not fit in here. I also let Jason know about that, and he told me that he believes, or maybe not he believes, but he knows that there's a version for the ECAS fitting. I might have just printed the wrong one, but I did end up grabbing one of these little threaded Bowden clips, or whatever we call them, and so that's fine. I got the fans working. The fans were not working, so the fans. What was the issue with the fans? I cannot remember. I think that the pin definition was fine, and that it just wasn't defined as far as like what they were supposed to activate on. So I have the fans activated. If the bed is heating up, or if the bed has, if the bed is being used or heating up, the fans work now. I installed handles, and then I got Klicky working. I didn't have a whole lot of issues with. Believe it or not, like I didn't have a whole ton of issues. Oh, and the screen wasn't working either. If you remember that, the ribbon cable was slipped the wrong way. So screen is now working totally fine. It was like everyone said, it just needed to be inverted. So the only real issue I ran into was with homing. I'm using sensorless homing, which I think is what the kit intends, but maybe not. Maybe it's optional. But I'm using sensorless homing, and the X would home perfectly every time. The Y would just not home. It would either trigger instantly, and so it wouldn't work, or if I raised it even by one value, it would slam into the back and never trigger. So I ended up doing a bunch of research, and I remember I had a printer similar to this. I think it was my Trident, and I ended up having to, like, the only solution I really found was to swap over to Danger Clipper or Calico, and basically adjust my homing current. And I did see that you can, with the macro, adjust your homing current, like in the macro, but the homing override, we were trying to find the homing override last week, and I found it. It is hidden inside of, oh man, I don't know what my IP is for this. Is it I think it's this, 159? Yeah, here we go. So the homing override we were trying to find last week, it's actually inside the Klicky config. And I was looking at the config, and was like, I don't know where to insert the value. I did not know where it needed to go. But I did end up finding that there was apparently there's a bug with Klicky, or some kind of issue where multiple people have discovered over time that with sensorless homing, X will home fine. And if you just home X, and then you just home Y, it homes fine. You try to home both of them, X works and Y doesn't, or the second one doesn't work. And so I'm not entirely sure what the issue is, but the solution ended up being, I'm pretty sure I added it in here. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I didn't add it. No, I did add it in here. I'm pretty sure this is where it was. Wait, so let me see, where's the home? Yeah, okay. So I ended up removing the homing commands that they had, which I think was just a G28, and I swapped it out with this macro, which I believe is here. I think it's under, where the, oh, here it is, yeah. Yes. So this is what I swapped it out with. And I think that this is the factor. The M400 command, I believe it's a pause command, isn't it? Or wait until, let me see, M400, G-code, command. Finish moves. Causes the command process to pause and wait in a loop until all moves in the planar are complete. So yeah, it's a pause and wait for the previous thing to complete. And I added that, and that seems to have solved it. So now if we look at, that's not what I wanted to show. If we look at this and I go home, can you post that? I'd like to try that as well. Yeah, absolutely. I will just post the full, here, hold on. Oops, that's right here, macro. Oh gosh, where did it go? There we go. Okay, I don't know if you're in the Modbot Army Discord. That's where I'm gonna post it. If that works, great. If not, then I can probably post it somewhere else for you. But I'm just gonna post it in the live stream channel right now. So there it is. So yeah, you don't have to use macros. You can just probably post the M400 command or whatever you want value-wise, but this is what worked for me. And so now if I go to home all,
And I did keep the bounce. I did change the bounce that Heart K had though. So it bounces, goes to the area between the cable chain and Klicky, grabs Klicky, homes, and parks Klicky. And it's been pretty repeatable. I think I ran it 10 times the other day and it worked every single time. I did have to adjust Klicky. I don't know whether that's just like tolerances or what, but I had to adjust it 1 millimeter, which was pretty minor. But yeah, outside of that, it's working fine. Yeah, I ended up homing it in the location I'm homing it at because if I shift this out of the way a little bit, nope, that's the wrong way. Yeah, I didn't want, although I pretty much had clearance, I didn't want it to bump into the cable chain. GP's had mentioned that it caused some issues, I think with his, I think it ripped off something he said. So there's a perfect gap like right here where it clears. Oh, you guys can't see. I'm using my arrow like you guys can see what I'm talking about, but that's so funny, as if it was like a mouse pointer. There's a perfect gap between where the cable chain ends, like the vertical Z, and where the dock is, and that's where it bumps, and it works really well. So things I have not done are, I have not done a quad gantry level yet. I have not set up my Z offset, and I've not printed anything. So I wanted to wait on all that for everybody here. So let's try a quad gantry level and see if it works. Fingers crossed on that one. Let's see. Let me zoom you guys out a little bit and straighten that out of here. Let's see if this works. QGL, boom. Okay, grabbed Klicky successfully. Seems like it's working. See how many times it takes to adjust though. Tolerance on that one was 0.0075. I'm not sure what the default tolerance is or what it's trying to reach. This looks pretty dang close. I think this will be the final one. Nope, still 0.0075. Is the plate backwards? It's definitely backwards. I thought that for some reason, wait, I don't think it is backwards. It looks like it's backwards, but I'm pretty sure if I turn it, it doesn't cover the full build plate. Let me try, here, hold on. I'm pretty sure I tried this. No, you're absolutely right, it's backwards. Should I run it again? No, you're absolutely right, it is backwards. Is that a Jabberwocky tool head? It's not. This is the ant head. No, it was backwards. It made sense that it was backwards, like both the text and everything, but I swore I tried fitting it on here this direction and it didn't fit, but clearly that is not the case. We'll do one more QGL. Like, I doubt the plate is going to be different, but that was kind of fun to watch. I did intend to wash the plate before we tried printing and didn't get a chance to. I am probably just going to try to print on it, something small without washing it, because if I go inside the house right now, Jack is going to want to come out, and my brother-in-law and his girlfriend are staying with us right now. There's kind of just a lot going on, more than normal. Yeah, I didn't think it would make any difference either, like, but it is doing a second pass. I think it's only doing a second pass though because the tolerance range is really small. Yeah, it's doing it again. It keeps hitting 0.0075 tolerance, which to me that's a pretty aggressive tolerance. I don't know if it even needs to be that tight. Oh wait, I lied. So the tolerance is 0.0075, and it had hit, what did it hit on the previous one? It hit 0.0137, and then on this final one, it hit 0.004375. Yeah, okay, that was my bad. So yeah, that's good. So the next thing we need to do is set up the Z offset, and this is something that I always screw up.
What ends up happening is I do the Z offset, I do the little paper test, it seems like it's fine, and then the nozzle digs into my build plate. So I don't know what needs to be done, especially if there's something special with Klicky that needs to be done. I thought that someone said that if you have Klipper screen, it's easiest to just go through Klipper screen. But this is like something I only set up once every, I feel like year, or like I don't have to set this up very often. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous, and I'm almost tempted to just set it a little bit higher as like a bit of a safety margin. That right there is why I switched to the cartographer probe. Yeah, I have like, I don't know where they are now that we moved, like we moved 2 years ago now, but I had a stack of plates called my plates of shame. How do you get that wrong? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, GPs. I've done it on stream at least twice now, where everything looks like it's fine, nobody says I'm doing anything wrong, and then the print goes and it just digs into the build plate. So I don't know. The cost of this kit, I can tell you exactly. I have a rough number in my head. I know, so Think Fabrico's is a slightly modified version, so I'm gonna go with KB3Ds because I think that's like the LDO, that's like the LDO OEM one. So 819 or 820. Yeah. Hey, Steve. Can you install the X-Bolt mod that allows for auto Z offset? I think so. I think you can. So let's just try to go through the screen and see what happens here. I'm gonna try this method because I swore this method was like the one that seemed the simplest last time if we had the option. Let me see if I go more. Okay, Z calibrate. Okay, so this is what always throws me in itself. If you have a probe, no. In this case, the options are only probe calibrate and bed mesh calibrate, so it has to be probe calibrate. It cannot be bed mesh calibrate manual method. So Klipper maybe changed because I feel like it almost always had probe calibrate or like Z calibrate as an option. Helps to set your bed temp to printing temps. I can do that. I mean, we can set, I'm just gonna do PLA temps right now. I'm gonna have to redo PID tuning once I get the front door on. I'll probably tune it for ABS and ASA. I think that's, I mean, not exclusively what I'll use with this printer, but I'd like to print with that on this. But right now I have it set to, PID'd for PLA, just because I don't have the front door on yet. So we'll let it heat up for a minute, just so that way it's at temp. I will show you what I'm doing, GPs. I will show you. That way, if you see anything that looks ridiculous, you're like, nah, man. And if it goes wrong, then you can say, no, you are cursed. Like you can see. After building the form bot and having to recrimp every single cable, untwist every single step motor, it's worth the extra price. Yeah, I did. So everything underneath the bed, or underneath the panel deck, that's the word. I did, let's do this. Everything underneath the deck, I did not touch as far as like recrimping. Everything for the tool head, I did. That's not true. Most everything for the tool head I did recrimp. Only things I didn't touch was, I think the fan cables, like the layer cooling fan cables, and then one other cable. But everything else, like the heater, the thermistor, one of the fans, the Klicky stuff, stepper motor, it was all pretty. I think the stepper motor was pretty long. Yeah, I recrimped the stepper motor. I didn't have to. I could have just kind of tucked it all in there, but for me, I'm never. Someone at my door. What was? Oh, I heard something really loud. For me, like I'm never like trying to get my cables perfect, but for the tool head especially, one, it's moving and I don't want something to snag, and two, like I'm gonna be staring at it every time I look at the printer, so I want it to be as nice as possible. And neat as possible. But for under the deck, like I pretty much just zip tied and tucked and tried to route things strategically. The biggest thing that would clean up the bottom panel or bottom deck wiring would be if you shorten the Z motors specifically, because all the Z motors are just right there and they're like full length cables, so I had to go back and forth and kind of zip tie them all together. I did check my probe consistency. I did. I cannot remember what the value was. We can do that again if we want. Yeah, I'm happy to do that again if we want. Do we want to do a probe calibrate so you guys can see it?
Among other things like missing pins in 125mm bed heater for 180mm bed. I'll be watching. The heater on Formbot is a bit annoying.
Okay, we're at temp right now. Let's just do this. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna make sure it's on the right one. So we're on probe calibrate, not the other one. We're gonna hit start. What? It says remove manually the probe and continue calibration. Why did it, oh no, that's not what's on it. But why is it over here and not in the center of the bed? It wants me to do the offset from here. I would rather do it in the center of the bed. Does anyone know how to adjust that? I mean, I assume it's a macro. It's just so you can see, like, it basically moved the tool head right here. It wants me to probe here or measure my Z there. And I can, but I'd rather not. I'd rather it be center. I just don't know if this macro is going to be different. Like, I would think it's something to do with clipper screen. Or maybe not. No, maybe it's not with clipper screen. It's just a weird, it's a weird place for it to probe. If anyone knows, let me know. Because I don't, I can Google, though. Let's see. Clipper Z... probe, offset, calibration, wrong spot. Oops, not wrong, not Z spot, wrong spot. I cannot type right now, holy cow. Probe calibration, nope, that's not it. Safe C home, I don't think, we have homing override. Hey Troy, we have homing override. I don't think you can't have Safe Z home and homing override, can you? Or can, or, yeah, I thought it was one or the other. It's just so weird, but why it would do that. I can't do much. Let me abort for a sec. I don't even know where. Yeah, so it would have to be under Clicky. Bed mesh, calibrate, set probe status, park tool head, home Z. Location is in stop. Entry point function. Probe calibrate, probe accuracy, no. Probe dock probe, deploy your track. And calibrate portion. Homing override. The homing override section is pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie. I was like reading through it and Clicky, probe, calibrate, wrong spot. Auto Z offset calibration, Clicky resulting in alarm, confused, probe calibrate, Clicky Z calibration isn't reliable, probe calibrate error. I guess it would be probe Z offset, wrong spot. I have no idea. I have no idea. Common fixes for Clicky Z offset. Correct the Z and stop position. Unplug gantry level. Verify Z Clicky. Update probe variables. The probe hits in the wrong spot. Update the safe Z and dot coordinates. I have no idea. I've not experienced this before. So basically, let me show you guys from like far out what's happening. So we're trying to use Klipper screen to do our Z offset. So that way our nozzle's at the correct height. And this is what happens. So let me not use my hand. Let me move the printer out of the way. So escape, dashboard. Oops, that's not what I want to do. All right, let me throw the Klicky back on the dock. Okay, so if I go, okay, so probe calibrate, right, is where I'm at. I hit start. It grabs Klicky like it's supposed to. It homes it, or no, it doesn't home it. It moves to the correct spot, but then it moves and homes. I'm not sure where it's getting that travel move to move it over there. And so now it's telling me like remove the probe and then jog it downward. I'm just not sure where the command is coming in that's sending it there. Like it moves to the correct spot, but then there's clearly some sort of macro or command that's forcing it back towards over there. And I have no idea where that is. What does your Klicky settings look like? I can show you that. Is that your probe calibrate macro? I don't know. Let's check. So let's go machine, Klicky. So offset sample tolerances, bed mesh. Enable verbose output, enable debug, travel speed, acceleration, dock speed, release speed, Z drop speed, variable state Z, minimum Z for attaching and docking, enable Z hop, variable Z, if a separate Z end stop switch is in, which we don't have, check the printer, variable dock location, Z dock position, -128. Same use since I use any kind of mechanical Z probe. Following variables used, the dock is deployed and retracted with the servo. That's not us. Dock move, final toolhead movement to release the probe on the dock, which really shouldn't be what we're doing. Attach move shouldn't be what we're doing. Location to park the toolhead. Could that be it? Variable park toolhead. Could that be it? Could it be going to park it over at 30? Probably not. Hey, Millennium! No, I'm not. I wish I could, man. I wish I could. I don't know. As of right now, I don't have any specific trips planned for this year. I'm still trying to kind of figure out with day job stuff and with the baby, maybe later in the year if there's something I can try to meet. But yeah, Smurf is just out of the question, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to live through vicariously through everyone that goes and posts stuff online. Hey, Colin. Variable, got it, it's Z. Below this remark, you'll normally do not need to configure. Variable attach, variable home back off Y, variable homing override is empty. Variable dock on Z home, docks the probe on Z, bypass probe docking, false. Do not modify below. There was a calibrate section, probe calibrate. Calibrate the probe Z offset with Klicky auto mount. I don't know what that calibrate the probe's Z offset with Klicky auto mount. I don't know if Klicky auto mount is something unique or if that's what we have. Set save Z, Z drop feed rate, set max, set max, set max. Protect against probe calibrate performed outside the bed. I don't know, y'all. I have no idea where it is grabbing that value from. I'm curious to see, hold on, where is it? So it's at X23. I wonder if I look in here and just search 23, if there's anything telling it to go specifically to 23. That's where the dock location is. Umbilical. What is this?
umbilical to help untangle the umbilical in difficult situations. I don't remember that being a thing the last time I used. Those are the only two 23 values. What's our Y value? Our Y value seems kind of random. 167. I don't know. I'm like almost at the point of just doing our Z offset over there, making it a little bit higher and hoping for the best and just baby stepping it maybe on the first print. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Like I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what's causing it. Where was that value actually? It was 23, right? So let me see. Variable umbilical. How would it know if the umbilical's tangled? Like, I'm just curious as to what this is. I don't think this is gonna show. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think we are just going to attempt to do this with where it's at. So let's put this back on, try it one more time. I'm sure it's like one value somewhere that's doing it. Did you set your bed size correctly? I think so. I mean, it homes in the center, so I would think like the bed size would have to be correct for that to be working, but uncomment for 180 build, 173. Yeah, I think the bed size is fine. I also have not run any input shaping, so yeah, let's just do it. I mean, I don't love the fact that we're not meshing in the center, but in the clicky stuff, I don't think there is any bed mesh. Well, I guess it wouldn't be in. I don't think it would be in bed mesh. And I don't know where else there would be a value like that. Dock move, umbilical, attach moves, home back off moves, how many millimeters away from the end stop, homing override. There's nothing in here for homing override. Default clicky behavior tries to avoid hitting the dock. Yeah, the macros in here is so like meaty that I just can't. It's not that it's not meshing in the center. Well, it's the Z offset. So here, let me do this again. Let's move Y. So this is all from the Micron Discord. I basically just copied over the files and I made a few tweaks, but largely it should be the same. But yeah, so what's happening is if I go probe calibrate, it grabs the probe, goes over to the center of the bed, but instead of homing there, it travels back, it travels over here and does this. And so it wants me to probe the bed right here. Like it says, remove the block and now probe, or like not probe, but you know, drop it down. It's bizarre. I have no idea what's causing it. So I think I mean, in this case, I'm almost debating on just like eyeballing it so that way I know there's enough of a gap, because it's possible that like I would think, I mean, I don't know how the bed's laid out, but there definitely could be a decent sized deviation from here to there.
So I think I would rather like give myself plenty of clearance than to get it close there and have the center of the bed be higher. Even though it is going based off of the measurement it got here, so I guess it shouldn't really matter, right? Because it's going to create a mesh. Can I not go more than... Oh, it's from the screen, right? Yeah. Got the Clippy log posted on Discord. I don't, but I can. Where do you want me to grab? Here, let me abort this one more time. Where do you want me to grab the Clippy log from? I'm also curious if we go... So, probe triggered, attaching probe open, probe at... So it knows that it's probing not at center. Probe at 23 and 23 and 167.5. I wonder if there is, I doubt it because it'd be weird to me, but like, what was that 167, right? No, there's no value. It's probably not sending it to specifically 167.5. Is it going back to an original location? It shouldn't be, unless it's going to the location. It might be going to the location because it's sending X to 23, and X23 is my variable for whatever this is, the umbilical value, but also the variable dock location. So it is sending it back to the dock location. I just don't know why. Where do you want the clip? Where do you want me to grab the Clippy? Oh, Clippy log. Why can I never remember Clippy log? Downloads. Yeah, give me one sec. I will just pass it over. All right, it's in the live stream channel for Discord. Wait, file cannot be empty. What? Okay, do I have to zip it? Press. Why can't it only lets me compress it as a RAR file. Add to archive, add to Clippy.rar, compress an email, restore previous versions, send to compressed file. Specify directory log is empty. Why would that be the case? Cannot find. Maybe it didn't oh, it didn't. It's because of my browser's built-in protection. There we go. Okay, Clippy log's posted on your live stream channel. Yeah, if you see something really quick, then let me know. Otherwise, we're just gonna run this. What we can do for fun in the meantime is run input shaping. Okay. So we need to probably enable the input shaping section. ADXL. Oh no, that's awful. Yeah, it doesn't happen to me that often. It's specifically when I'm doing like printer stuff with all the things in Clipper that it blocks it. I think maybe sometimes GitHub, it does block the files as well. It must be based off of the file format, I would think. Okay, yeah, no worries. I mean, if you can't figure it out, not a huge deal. But I'm at a loss like at this point. Okay, so let's open up. Wait, do we want to install Shake&Tune or do we want to just run? We probably should do Shake&Tune, huh? Okay, let's do this. SSH modbot at 192.168.5. I think it's 159. Yeah, 159. 159. Boop. Okay. Throw TMC auto tune on this as well. I haven't messed around with that at all really yet. Which macro did it run for Klicky? That is a great question. Macro was probe calibrate. If you don't get 10K on Y, yeah, no problem. You need to build this again. See you guys in 3 months. No, I'm gonna, whatever it gets, like I'll do small tweaks maybe over the coming weeks, but for now I'm living with it. Come on, build dependencies. Ugh. Error. Failed the build. Why? 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 Installing build dependencies for matplotlib. Is it because I did not install did the UI add parameters to the probe calibrate? It should not have. I didn't, like, all I did from the UI was click the probe button and then it did the move. I could try probe calibrate from Klippain and see if it does anything different. I wonder, this is probably the reason why it failed, I would think, right? It's because it doesn't have probably matplotlib. That's my assumption. What? Oh, Celebrity Python, but is referred to. Package is not available, but is referred to by another package. This may mean that the package is missing, has been obsolete, or is only available from another source. Has no installation cadence. I don't know why this would be the case. I'm on Trixie. I think I'm on Trixie. I'm 99% sure I'm on Trixie. But I was told that Trixie was working with this. Delmar tagged me in something. Hello.
Looks like Shake&Tune got fixed the latest update to work with Trixie. It's been out for 2 weeks. Huh. Why are you no work? What is happening? I wonder if I need to update system packages. Should we update this? I just worry it's gonna take a long time and I kind of want to print like input shaping or no input shaping. I just really like to get it printing. Okay, let's do, what was the macro? It was, let me get this back to 60 Celsius and I'll try it. Buddy! You can go play? You wanna say hi, everybody? Don't touch the screen. No, Jackson. Jackson.
Okay.
Is Ryan going? Is he staying? Okay. Can you say hi?
Hi.
You tell everyone where you're going?
I'm going to play.
You're gonna go play?
Yeah.
Afterwards, you're gonna do gymnastics?
Yeah.
Yeah? You excited?
Yay.
Did you hear him? Yay! What are you thinking about?
I'm going to Popeyes.
You going bye-byes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mama took my pay.
Mommy did what?
I play brother. Boom.
You fight Bowser?
Yeah.
Yeah? You go boom?
Yeah, I love. Boom.
That is a pretty,
Boom.
that's pretty aggressive.
I play brother too. I play brother can and Wait.
Okay, you gotta go. I love you.
Mommy.
Have fun. Have fun, okay? He's been playing a lot of Mario. Okay, so probe is in place. Let's home it, then run probe calibrate and just verify that it is not, that did not work. Oh, that did work, that did work. For the probe calibration, the only thing I can think of is that you need to grab the probe, move the print head to the middle, then run the probe calibrate command. Wait, is that you need to grab the probe? I can't though, because when I run probe calibrate, that's when it's doing that. So like right now it's in the center, right, or it should be. Okay, so now when I run probe calibrate, it's gonna grab the probe again, which I don't, well, I guess that makes sense. So it grabs probe. Attach the probe before the macro? You think the macro is what's triggering it to go over there? We could try that. Let's try that. That is as good of an idea as any. So let's take probe off. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that is the issue, Zombie. I would be very, I'd give you all the internet points for the day. Maybe not all, but like a lot of the internet points. All right, so let's just home it again. Yeah, love you too. Yeah, the macros in general for Klicky, I was looking at them and like, I'm not a macro expert, but usually I can read through it and like get a general idea of what's happening, but I'm like, this is a lot of reading. Okay, so it is moved to the center. This is exactly where we want it to probe. I'm grabbing the probe. I am placing the probe. Poorly. Bye, buddy. I love you. I'll see you later, okay?
Have fun. Okay. Careful for lava? I will. You be careful for lava. Alright. Alright. So now let's try. Now let's try it. Here we go. Probe calibrate. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is way better. That is way better. Hold on, dude. Oh my god. If you were here, you'd get a big hug right now. A big hug. That is awesome. Maybe that's the intent all along, is that you're supposed to manually grab it. It feels weird that it wouldn't just grab it and move back to center, but who am I to judge? You know? I don't know. All right, so do I have a piece of paper is the next question. I should. This should work sufficient for now. We can always adjust. Oh, Los! Hey, 1 year! Thank you so much, man. We'll do this one for you. That was easy. Thank you, Los. Thank you for the support, man. Yeah, that's silly. I feel like if it has Klicky on it, which it should be able to tell it has Klicky because it's coming from Klicky macro, it should say like attach probe before. Like it could tell you that. All right, so we're just gonna use this tiny little piece of paper and we're gonna drop it down to 5 millimeters at a time for now. One more. Okay, now we gotta switch. So let's do like 0.5 millimeter. Okay, that's touching the bed. Now let's move up again. That's too far away. That's too close. So we're getting there. This is probably a little bit thicker than... We're gonna go with that. This might be too far away. This piece of paper I think is a little bit thicker than a printer paper, but I'd rather have a tiny bit of margin just in case. So now let's go ahead and hit accept. Save config. Okay, so with that, we should be good. Will we be good? I don't know. Time will tell. So I would love to run input shaping, but I'm not sure right now. Let's see. Let me see what Zombie said. There should be a guide somewhere. Seems like the macro wants to grab the probe, but it's not working for some reason. It's setting the probe location right after attaching the probe. Yeah, something seems off. Like, something seems off. Either, like, I feel like it should absolutely be able to grab the probe, move to the center, then tell you to remove the probe. But instead, it seems like once it has the probe on it, it homes from like the second it grabs it, which is what's happening here. Wait, no, because in this case, the weird thing was, it was so like it would home, I'd run the macro, it would grab the probe, it would jolt over to the correct spot, but then jolt back over to where like the initial parking spot is before it does the final sweep. So I don't know, it's really weird. Yeah, I think we'll just print for now. I'll figure out the baby stepping stuff a little bit later, or if we have time. Like, I'm not baby stepping. I was reading Tuxedo's message while trying to think about input shaping. But yeah, I think that if we get the print going and it like ends up working fine and we have some time, then we could maybe it. But I'm scared that if like something tells me I might need to update the system, and if I do that, I'm just scared that it's gonna take a really, really long time. So. I believe that the max build volume on this guy is like, I think it's like technically 180. So let's open up and see if there's, we'll probably just take like the 2.4 profile and shrink the X, Y, and Z. I don't know what max Z is. It's definitely not, I don't think it's a full 180 cube without bumping the top. So I'll probably drop it to, maybe I'll just set it like 150 as a placeholder for now. A bit too, yeah. Yeah, a bit too high is like worst case scenario. Okay, you need to reprint it or baby step it. I'll start with a skirt too, so I can try to baby step it while it's printing the skirt. And then I assume we're not on the latest. Number presets, that's fine. I have a hard time believing we're on the latest.
so used to my Mac. Preferences, help. Check for updates. Huh, what do you know? All right. So let's do, what are we doing? We're gonna start with the boron 2.4, and then we are going to call this the, oops, Clippy bot, and then 192, oops, 192.165.159, was that? Pretty sure that's right. Yep, cool. All right, and then we need to edit our machine size. So I think we'll go with 180. I also use Orca, let's see. I also use Orca now with my Micron. It works well, but I haven't been able to dial in the first layer. What do you mean the first layer? Like as in the macro, like purging and stuff, or your Z offset? Where's our height? Is that not? Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's 150. I just would rather be safe than sorry for right now. Okay, I think that's fine. I don't know if there's any sort of built-in print start macro. There is a print start macro. So, oh, what am I doing? I don't know why I did that. Here we go, print start. So, set display message, print starting, park, set display, so quad gantry level. It doesn't mesh. So let's do a mesh really quick here. I agree we probably don't need to mesh for every single print. So let's set our let's get our bed temp and then run a quick mesh. It's already made for late to the party. Hi, what have I missed? Hey, Collie. Not a lot. We had some weird issue with the Z probe offset where it just was wanting to have me probe, like get a piece of paper and probe in the back left corner. Zombie had a great idea of trying to attach the probe by hand before clicking the macro, and that definitely either got us dead center or a lot closer to center. So we moved past that. I wanted to run input shaping, but there's a matlib error, and when I tried to install the Python package, I think is what it is, it errored out as well. So I don't know what's going on with that. This was a clean install, so I'm thinking maybe I just need to do like a system update, but I don't want to do that right now out of fear that it's going to take like 20 minutes. So right now we're just going to run a quick mesh, and then we are going to try to print something and see if that works. So what's the Orca equivalent to extrusion multiplier? Flow. The flow, no, not flow rate. The, is it not called the flow rate? It would be under here. It would be diameter, print, shrinkage, softening, can't find that recommended. Flow ratio. Yeah, flow ratio is what it would be. Can you set up the Raspberry Pi as a secondary MCU? Google Clipper, Docs Quick. You said Raspberry Pi as a secondary MCU. I probably could, but I don't think that, because I'm using the ADXL built into the tool board on this, I don't think that would work, right? I'm pretty sure that setting the Pi as a secondary MCU is what you do if you're using, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's do a quick mesh and see what this looks like. Yeah, of course, Tuxedo. I did that with a Pi Zero once. I've done it once before too, but it's been a really long time. Any ideas? What do we think that the range is at? I'm curious. What do we think the range is at for this? I'm gonna guess like 0.5 millimeter. I don't know.
0.02? No way. You think it's point? No, there's no way. No way. I think 0.5 millimeter. I think somewhere between 0.3 and 0.5 would be my guess. 0.015? I don't think so, man. I would be stoked if that was the case. Wow, you guys were a lot closer than I was. I said 0.3 to 0.5, and it was 0.05. That's pretty good. I know. You're right. I guess I haven't going from the Venture XL to this. maybe my ranges are a bit skewed, but that's pretty solid. I'm very pleased with that. The one thing we probably also need to do though, let me check the start macro, is making sure we're at least cannot update MCUs. Oh, that's fine. It just needs to restart. We should check the print start macro to make sure we're at least calling the saved mesh. Even though at a 0.05, I don't know how much we really need to call the saved mesh. If we do the quad gantry level, that might be overkill, but since we have a mesh saved, we might as well. Print start. Set park, and if set display hot end leveling. It doesn't look like we are. So we're doing a quad gantry level there. I don't know that it matters exactly where we call it from. I think we could call it here, probably. What is it, load defaults? Let me see. Bed mesh calibrate, adaptive. You think it's worth running it? We can run it. It just feels unnecessary. Like, my thought was we would just save the mesh and then just use that. We can run adaptive meshing. It just feels like unnecessary. It feels unnecessary. Yeah, for now, let's just see. Hold on. Clipper, load, default, mesh. Let's just add this for now. This is the command. Bed mesh. Default. If I run into issues later on, I'll consider doing the variable meshing. Like, I normally would run that on another printer, but because our bed is so flat, like, I probably don't even need to do what I'm doing right here. Where are we at? So we're going under, yeah, we'll call it before QGL in this case, because it doesn't matter. It shouldn't impact it. I always run a mesh. It's like 30 seconds and fun to watch. I mean, it depends on the probe. I've had situations where it has to probe like multiple times because it's not accurate enough. But yeah, I guess if it works well, your probe, then it isn't a big deal. So let me see. Better start macro. I never remember the commands. I just grab them from here. The required changes. No, I just want this. Okay. I don't think this has a built-in purge line. Let's check. I don't think I saw a built-in purge line or prime line. We don't need all these backups. Isn't there a way to just hide these? Hidden hide backup files. Bam, there we go. They're nice to have just in case, but they fill up very quickly when you're doing stuff like this. Print start. Okay, so what have we got? We've got display text, target bed, heating up hot into 150. Loading. Oh, quad gantry level. Wait, where did our... Wait, what? Didn't I just save it with loading the what? I'm very confused. I thought I just saved it with this command, but it's not there. Oops, that's not what I want either.
That's weird. Okay, there it is. Okay, so loading our mesh, doing a quad gantry level, homing Z. So there is no, oh, prime nozzle for printing, sick. And the prime macro is here. What is that doing? Prime macro. Set X mid, go to printer tool axis minimum. Extrude. Go starting point. Okay, cool. So let's try it. Let's let it rip. We'll save and restart one more time. All right, I kind of just want to do, is there a Micron cube by chance? Micron, oh, let's just check the GitHub. Man, maybe there's not a Micron cube. Oh, it's miscellaneous firmware. I don't want to start with this. Zombie. I don't want to do this right now. I want something a little bit more substantial before I go to dialing in my Z to that level. If anybody knows where there's like a Micron cube or something like that, let me know. It's under tools. Nice, cool. All right, so generic PLA. I have no idea what we'll just kind of run this one with defaults. We're running it, yeah, 220 is fine. We can bump this up, although cooling's probably gonna be, I have to think that this hot end can probably reach like at least 20, I mean, maybe more. I don't know what the flow rate is on this. And then cooling, keep fan always on. Let's not slow it down. The fan is always on. I'm pretty sure if this is enabled, it ignores these values. I'm almost positive that it does. Minimum fan layer is I mean, they're both at 100, so I don't think it matters. Let's just leave this. We don't need to save that. All right, let's try this. I would actually do want to run skirts though, just in case the first layer needs to get bumped down. This is going to be under other, right? Skirts. Let's do like 4 loops. Let's make our gap a little bit bigger. Skirt distance, let's go like a 5 little gap. Yeah, that's fine. Is your Micron still a tool changer or no, not anymore? What is the default firmware? Set to max acceleration is set to 5K, so not super high. That's fine. This is our maiden test. Let's all right, let's just do this. That's fine.
print, upload.
I see Warren has released new profiles for the printers, way more up to date. Is that profile that I'm using right now an updated profile? Is that what you're saying, or no, you're seeing them somewhere else?
Maurice, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Just in time to see whether I destroy another bed or not.
Okay, so it homed. Now bed's heating up to 55 Celsius. I don't know if that'll be hot enough in the garage. Also, I did not clean the build surface, so that will probably impact it. I probably will raise that. I usually like at least 60 is usually safe. Fingers crossed. They are in, oh, Prusa Slicer. Assumed worker got them. Also, Prusa has Micron profiles. Nice. I'm not the biggest fan of Prusa Slicer. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike. I did dislike it at first. At first, I was like, man, I just don't like this UI. It's grown on me, and I don't really mind it. And when I was using my Mark IV more, I was, you know, obviously using Prusa Slicer. Once we finish the conversion to the Core 1, I'll definitely be using it more again. But I just, between the Bamboo Lab printers I have and me using largely Bamboo Studio with them, and then most everything else using Orca, they just feel so similar that jumping between them, I don't feel ever really out of place. Well, every time I go to Prusa Slicer, it's, you know, kind of its own thing, so it always takes me some time. I PID tuned it off stream, which I'm glad I did because the bed took forever. The bed took a really long time, even at 60C. Okay, so bed's heated up. Hot end is now heating up to 150. Yeah, thank you though. I PID tuned and I also measured rotation distance and it was fine. It was like spot on. Yeah, isn't Prusa Slicer supposed to be getting like a massive UI rework? I thought I saw that. I don't know where they announced that or said that, but I swear I'm not making it up. I feel like the Z should be lifting higher. That probe is scary close. That probe is scary close to the bed as it's traveling. I don't like that at all. That needs to... It's scraping ever so slightly as it's going to the back. I don't remember it being like that when we did the QG quad gantry level manually, but it must have been. I gotta fix that. The Z needs to be higher. Oh, okay, got it. So they already said it. Why are we grabbing it again? Oh, okay, it does one. That's right. It does it home after the quad gantry level. That is right. All right, y'all. Okay, so now hot end is heating up to 220. Bump up your speed. Oh, you mean like traveling from point to point? Only one probe attempt? No, I think it was 2. I'm pretty sure it was 2. You can fix that with attached probe lock. I can fix what? The Z offset? Wait, are you referring to the Z offset? Hold on. It doesn't look terrible. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad. It really doesn't look that bad, that first layer. Surprisingly, I thought I was going to be higher than I was. Well, you can't see because my bulky tool head. It's not really bulky, but like the front with it being flat, it's hard to see. But like the first layer looked. I'm sure I can get you guys at least a shot of like how the skirt looked. It was a lot better than I was expecting.
I don't know how well, it's like let me see if I can adjust this. It was pretty good. Like there's not really much gap. God, it feels so good. It feels so good. Man, after like however, I don't know, I didn't put the number on the last 2 streams, so I don't know exactly how many streams this are, but it's like 13 streams or 14 streams. Like just seeing it, let's see, the extra probe pickup, you can check the start code and put an attached probe lock where it does the first pickup, and do a probe lock unlock where it should finally dock the probe. Are you talking about for when I did the Z offset calibration earlier, or something else? Sorry, I'm seeing the filament. I'm assuming that it's filament and not beneath the black coating. Oh yeah, that was the one thing. Sorry, that was the one thing on the list that I was not able to get done was the LEDs. I just don't know exactly how I want to configure them or how I should configure them. That's not for lack of effort. I did take the Stealth Burner LED config file and import it and try to delete all the nozzle references, and it kind of worked. Like I was able to get the LED to light up purple, but it didn't respond to any of the different statuses, and I couldn't use the macros to change it. And then I also know there's like just like LED macro that exists out there. I don't know that I care that the status changes all that much. Like I think I'd be fine with it just being like maybe orange to contrast the orange. So maybe we just set it to like a solid color. Hey Bardicus, thank you, man. I'm really, really happy. Yeah, after the amount of time that went into this, like it just feels really good seeing it successfully print. Pop the champagne. That would be fun. We only build like 4 printers a year, it seems like, so four champagne toasts. He's talking about the probe docking after. Oh, got it. So I can make it where it doesn't dock after quad gantry leveling. You're saying basically like do quad gantry leveling and then home without needing to dock the probe, grab the probe, and do it. Yeah, you're right. Got it. Okay. Nope. I absolutely understand what you're saying. Like it's redundant. It's doing something it doesn't need to do that. Grab the probe, do quad gantry leveling, and then that's fine. You can home, but you don't need to park and pick up. Thank you, GPs. There are no nozzle LEDs on the mini stealth burner, and I miss nozzle LEDs. Oh, on the mini stealth burner, is there a macro for it then? Because I'll take the macro if it exists. All right, I'll check your DM. Check your DM. Ah! That's awesome. I'll share that. This is what the DM was. So I'm pretty sure you were the one, right, Maurice, that made the one for Steve with his smoke letting. This is my thing. The biggest thing I consistently have screwed up with builds is that first layer. I can try to be as careful as I want and like, you know, and I mean this is I'm hoping we're on a positive streak of, you know, that like being something we're leaving behind us, but it was at least 2, if not 3 builds where I've got battle scars on them from the initial plunge. And it always feels bad. Like if it happens in 3 months or 6 months, it's like, okay, like I've gotten some use out of it. But like the maiden print, just digging into it, it sucks. You can grab the macro for full stealth burner. I tried that, and we can play around with it after this a little bit. Do you have gauges in the magnet? Not in the magnet, but in the PEI. Congrats, I know it was a journey, but seeing the first print makes it all worth it. Yeah, thank you so much, Tuxedo. Yeah, I did. So I gave Jason a fair bit of feedback throughout this entire build. Honestly, like the biggest thing for this build, in my opinion, that would make it much easier and more accessible is just proper documentation throughout it. Like I think we had a couple of like maybe like tiny head scratches when we were following documentation, but largely the documentation was pretty dang solid. Like I don't have any real gripes with it. It was from the point that like documentation ended and we were referencing the CAD that I just started running into like either issues or question marks. that was a lot of it also was because there's multiple options for a lot of things on this build, and they're all in the same CAD. So you have to like disable what you don't have and only enable what you do have. And I didn't even know exactly, like looking at the BOM, like what do I have? And so I think I mentioned to Jason, like at the very least, if there's not going to be full documentation, if we can get a CAD file made of Micron that's specific for like, this is the LDO Micron CAD, that would make it way easier. That way you're not enabling and disabling stuff. Obviously, Anthead still is going to come with some variation because the kit doesn't come with a hot end, and depending on what hot end you run and what kind of probe you're supposed to do Klicky if you follow the kit. But that would make it a lot easier. But to me, that is the biggest. That was the biggest thing. As far as like kit issues, I think that the only thing we really ran into was the pins. Some of the pins definitely needed to be sanded a little bit. They just did not fit into the bearings, so that was a thing. And then there was like the leaf cutter, like it came with the things for leaf cutter, but it didn't, like it was missing a spring and stuff. Like that was kind of weird. So there was a couple of things, a couple of small things with the kit that I gave feedback for to Jason, but largely to me, like a lot of the, I'll call it issues we ran into, or kind of, maybe not even issues, but yeah, I'll call it issues, was related to just unclarity with referencing the CAD and having different things and it not being clear to me. Can't break tradition. Hardk is looking for people to help with building documents on the new PFA wiki. Got it. Yeah, I mean, documentation. What does the crossbow cut off? So the crossbow is there in case I want to use this with a filament swapper. Hardk, what is the name of that little two-tool tool changer? Not tool changer. The two-spool filament swapper. It was something with a bird. Was it owls? Who? What? Somebody. More people in chat will know what it was called. I also have the VV Night Owl. So like Night Owl seems like, let's see, Night Owl filament swapper. So if I ever want to do like dual color printing, this is for Rico's link for it. Like I can run something like this, where it'll feed, you know, two filaments. So I can do filament swapping mid print. And so I have not configured crossbow. Like the arm for it is right here. So it can hit that and basically cut it, but I don't have macros for it, and I would imagine that if I'm running that, I would also need to figure out like a purge location, which I would think would maybe be over here. I don't know. I have to look into what the purge spots look like, and I would think we probably would also want some kind of a like a silicone pad or something like that to park the hot end on, so it's not just dripping material, or like a wipe basically. So there's some stuff that would have to get done, but I need to test out the VVD, if that the abbreviation for it, BQ's multicolor or multi-spool thing. And so I'm probably going to do that on the 2.4, but I wanted to have the option to use it on another printer as well. So it's more just on there because I want to have the ability to experiment if I decide I want to. Yeah. The hot end it's using is the Drop Effect NG ultra high flow add-on. So it's this guy, Drop Effect. Nope, that's not how you do it. Drop Effect. Oh, maybe it's the XG. Hold on, I think it's the XG, not NG. I'm mixing it up with. This is not what I'm running. No, it is the Drop Effect, but this is not the way it looks. It is Next G. This is what I'm running. Yeah. This is what it's running. Vivid. Okay, got it. I was like, I know there's some V's and a D in there. Or a 3-lane box turtle. Yeah. Also, I think I missed. Yeah, sorry, I missed ballistic. Adobe Photoshop and I think Illustrator has a views type feature, which allows you to turn on and off a bunch of layers to show only what you want. I wish there was something like that in most CAD software. Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be great. You know, you don't want to build another box turtle. No, I still need to do more tuning of mine. But the big thing is the 2.4 is you need to get the swapping a bit more consistent. So it looks like I've got exclude object built in but not configured in the firmware. So I probably need to enable that module. There's definitely some line stacking on the outside. Like, I mean, it is gray filament, so it's going to show it worse than other filaments. Definitely need some input shaping, I think. There's at least like one, I don't see lots of ringing, but I see one serious ghost on the X. Cooling seems decent. The overhangs don't look bad. We also need to do pressure advance as well. Although I think that the profile in Orca Slicer applied at least some form of pressure advance because it doesn't look that bad. Might need to tighten belts. Yeah, that's a good point. XG is square. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the lines like once the shadow's not on it. But I mean, I will say that like this is the harshest light. Like I've got bright lights, like really bright lights, casting light downward. So passing through the acrylic and basically it's creating shadows. And then the camera is set up at a top-down angle. So this is the worst possible view that you could get with a filament. I don't think that he means like enable or disable view of single items. I think he's talking about bulk disabling. Adobe Photoshop and I think Illustrator has a view type feature which allows you to turn on and off a bunch of layers to show only what you want. I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding. We'll get the giveaway link open too in 3 minutes here. I was gonna do some work and try to get work done early, but I might surprise Jackson again and show up at his gymnastics. He didn't go last week because he was sick again. And like the week before when I left the stream at 2 o'clock to go, like the dude was so excited, man. He literally, I walked into his gymnastics and he gave me a hug and said, "I'm so excited to see you." So definitely kind of melted my heart a little bit. It's only 45 minutes, but it's like, I don't know, it's fun to see him being like, having a coach and like interacting with a couple other kids. Yeah, I've like come to the realization, so anyone that like knows me, I'm pretty much always like buried in a project or in front of a computer. Like if it's not, like day job, which Lightburn is really flexible with my schedule. So I do stuff during the day, I do stuff at night, but like if it's not Lightburn and Milmage stuff, it's YouTube stuff. Like I'm always working. And so I enjoy my work a lot, which is probably part of the problem that it's not like I'm working and like, oh, this sucks. Like, no, I really get involved in work, whether it's scripting or editing or whatever. But yeah, I just like came to the realization the other day. I'm like, my son Jackson turns 3 in like 24 days, or not even that, because February is a shorter month. And like time's just going by so quick, man. And so I'm really trying to like just enjoy and embrace every moment as much as possible and not and try to check my priorities a little bit, so it's definitely a balancing act. But there's stuff like this where it's like he's only going to have so many gymnastics, he's only going to get excited to see me at his little events so many times. So like I just, when I can, definitely, yeah, he turns 3 on March 5th. It's insane. Like he was just like a little lad the other day being pushed around in this stroller. I don't understand. That's what I meant. Maybe something like LDO view that only toggles. That would be cool. That would be sick. I would be totally fine with that if that existed ballistic, where you're like, I want the LDO assembly and it disables everything that's not, under that. Hey, you're back. You're back in the US, aren't you? Thank you for the 17 months, man. Something I had to learn as a dad is how to switch off and just be with my kid. Yeah, it's a like
the biggest struggle for me is like, I am a huge scatterbrain and I'm a big thinker, and I'm always in my head. Like a lot of my life I live in my head, not because I actively make the choice if I want to live in my head. It's kind of how I'm wired, and I have to like try to remind myself to like ground myself in the moment a bit. And so the tough thing is like, you know, you can be present, but you can also be present and not be present because you're there physically, but mentally you're somewhere else. And that's been the hardest thing for me as someone that's just, you know, their mind goes a million miles an hour. So just like chill out and like this what's in front of you, what you can see, this is all that matters right now. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Next week we will start the Prusa build. I have no idea what the process looks like from going just to from Mark IV to Mark IVS before we do the Core one, but we will dive into it next week, and I'm looking forward to it. I remember your first kid, then I ducked out of the hobby for 2 years. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's almost 3, and his little brother is he just turned 5 months. Well, he's almost 5.5 months now, which is crazy. Bravo started checking out the body awareness, strength, and general fitness they get is really beneficial even if he doesn't get competitive. Yeah, it was sort of like Aaron, I think, was the one that, no, Aaron was definitely the one that came up with the recommendation, and he goes to like a play place, an indoor play place where it's just kind of free play and it's nuts. And the reason why, I mean, like, I didn't do any of that stuff as a kid, but I also lived in Southern California and the weather was always like mild, so you could just always go out and play. While here, you know, half the year it's like, maybe not half the year, but 4 or 5 months, it's like pretty cold, 30s, 40s, and some snow and a lot of rain. So we knew we needed to get him into some place where he can go and be physical. That's not the house, because boy, does he love jumping around all the furniture in the house. And it was Aaron that was like really wanting to get him into something where there was a bit of sort of, not the word, not constructive, but like formal, something a little more formal, where you had to follow some rules or you do things, not just like go wild. And so he's so far, I mean, this is only gonna be his 3rd lesson, but from the first 2 that I saw, like I was pretty surprised that he was able to reel it in. Like he did zone out a little bit and like walk around, but I mean, he's barely 3. And Aaron does take him to that free play place for like an hour and a half before gymnastics, which really helps, I think, burn out those initial squirrels, because that kid he's my kid for sure. A very squirrely guy. But yeah, all the other stuff as well, though, when it comes to just like strength and general fitness and stuff, like those are all major pluses as well. Well, I would say that the good news is, like, I don't see any skip steps. I don't see anything that's like, you know, standing out as like, oh, that's just awful. I do think we need to run input shaping. I do think that most of the hard lines are aligning with like the top of the X or the middle line on the U. The rest of the lines are like the layer stacking really isn't that bad. I think I mentioned, I mean, I could probably, one thing I'll probably need to do is do a flow rate test for PLA to dial that in a little bit. I'm sure that will help with some of the stacking. And then also from my testing, I know that the wall ordering also can make a pretty big difference on how your outer walls look. I help with the kids' CrossFit class. Oh, that's cool. 5 to 12-year-olds, all the kids' gymnastics experience can do almost everything we teach already. That's awesome. Yeah, so far, I mean, like I said, it's been 2 weeks, but the things they've done is balance training, a lot of balance training, like a little bit of like hanging upside down on the, you know, like monkey bar, either like pull-up bar or whatever you want to call it. He's done, there's a little bit of jumping, so like trampoline, and then some more balance stuff too, like a stomach balance one, there's one, like they're trying to get him to do a not cartwheel. What it's, not a cartwheel, but like rolling, just kind of getting more control and balance. I take instructions well and can focus. This is my next stream, tuning everything. What printer, Penguin? Micron as well? Also, you said you're back in the States, right, Armor, or did I miss that? Did I miss that? I know originally you were supposed to be back by now. Oh, the giveaway's got to get open. Nobody poked me about that. Let me get that going. Shorten URL, copy URL. All right, the giveaway. So this is for a spool of Polymaker filament, and it is a global giveaway. So if you want to enter in, feel free. No pressure. Otherwise, I do not take your information and do anything with it. It gets cleared the second I grab the winner's info for an email later on. Somersault, that's the word. Yeah, wait, because which one's, so the one that they're trying to get him to do is just like head forward. The sideways one is, that's a cartwheel? Or that's a somersault? Hold on. I don't actually know. Cartwheel. How to do a cartwheel. Okay, so yeah, it's not a cartwheel, it's a somersault. Do a barrel roll reminds me of Star Fox 64. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was Falco or someone says, do a barrel roll. What's your big project you're working on lately, Zombie? Yeah, like a forward roll. Sideways, okay, it's definitely not a cartwheel. I can trip and fall with grace. The link's definitely working. I see 33 people have already entered in. I can post it. I can post one that's not shortened for you if you want to try that. Oh, okay, got it. Cool. Yeah, I was like, it's definitely working. It's populating for sure. Benny, what's going on, Benny? Happy hump day. Okay, so for the mini stealth burner, is there a set of LED macro? Is there a custom macro for it, or are people just taking the? I'm fine with trying again with the stealth burner one if someone wants to see what I'm doing wrong, because I'll change the camera angle for a sec here. So this is like the full stealth burner one, and I, changed that to 1. I assume that that's probably correct, the color order, but I'm not entirely sure. And then I think I left, so I deleted, I kept those. Color for nozzle states. Yeah, I didn't touch that. I deleted this, and I just tried to go through and delete any reference to a nozzle, thinking that that would just work. And it didn't. It didn't give me an error, but it didn't change the states. I'm working on the Doom Trident for a bit. I also need to rebuild my stealth changer. Is the Doom Trident a new build, or is that one that you're reworking? Dudes would troll Tom Green with that back in the day. What? Wait, what? Do a barrel roll or something else that I missed? I've never used Polymaker filament. Perhaps someday I shall. And it isn't cooling enough. Is Tube Compact shipping, or did you get an early unit, like for testing? I swear someone just told me not long ago there was a ton of delays. I'm upgrading the fan, swapping to A4T so I can actually maintain it. That's on the Trident. That's on the Trident. The Doom Cube Trident. Hey Verbal, I almost forgot to smash the like button. Don't be like me. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for doing your part. Man of the Croc, thank you so much for the donation. Gymnastics is here. BJJ next. I don't know. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was like, what is BJJ? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, maybe. I'm scared if I get him in that, he'll kick my butt. He won't listen to me anymore. Like, go to your room. He's like, puts me in like an arm bar. I don't know. I don't know if that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or not, but I'm like, all right, never mind. You just want to change the lights on the nozzle. No, the LED. So right now the LED light is not configured. There's no nozzle LEDs on this one. I'm fine with just setting the LED, like having the option to set the LED to a solid color and then turn it off if I want it to, the logo LED. I don't necessarily have to have it change with different states. I'm not against it changing based off of like printing, heating, cooling, idle, or whatever. That's fine, but I don't have to have that. The main issue I ran into was I took the Stealth Burner config file for the LEDs and attempted to just delete all the nozzle references, thinking that, cool, I can just get the logo LED to change, and it just didn't. When I turned it on, the logo LED was purple, and anytime I clicked on a macro, it would apply the macro, but for some reason it wouldn't actually change the state. At least the color wasn't changing on it. The Trident is a newer build. It's the heart case style. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, got it. Beta units. I hope he's able to get it figured out. I have no idea. I mean, I haven't talked to Luke since, sheesh, probably since I saw him at Rocky Mountain a year and a half ago at this point. Are you using the base LED effects? I'm not using anything right this second. Is this what I was looking at before? This is a standalone repository. Yeah, this is the one I was looking at potentially installing. If I do this route, I'm probably just going to either set it up as like rainbow or maybe solid blue. There's a note on the LED effect GitHub that states that the RGB color order is in the wrong order. It will give the wrong color. Okay. Yeah, we can try this right now. Although I'm not going to have a lot of time, now that I'm looking at the time and seeing that... how much longer does this print say it has? %90 done. Okay, 3 minutes left. So yeah, we'll have a few moments to play around with the LEDs. Might be the wrong color order. That's possible. I don't know for certain what the color order is for these LEDs, or for the for the single LED. Is there any way to know, or you basically? I mean, I guess one way to know would probably be setting it to a certain color and it not being that color. That's probably the easiest way to know. If you tell it to be red and it's not red, then clearly your ordering's wrong, or the way you're. Because there's like RGB, gRGB, WRGB. There's like at least 3 or 4 variants, I think. I'm so happy that this thing is printing. You guys, I was gonna say you guys have no idea, but you probably do have an idea. You guys have been here with me, like outside of the hours I put in between streams, like you've seen it. It just feels, it always, every time I do a build, it always, not always, but usually hit a point where I'm like, man, this is a lot. And then once I see it printing in the end, I'm like, it was absolutely worth it. It was super fun and challenging. But rewarding, I think, is the key, is like the main feeling I get from seeing the build all come together in the end. All right, we've got 75 entries, very nice. Let's see, how many here? 106 people here, thank you very much. Did we hit 69 likes? No, we got 57 likes. If you have not hit the like button, it is your time to shine. Let's get to, we can get to 69 likes, easy, easy. We're at 62. We're getting close. Getting closer. 63. Did I get in time? In time? Wait, in what? In the likes or the giveaway? The giveaway is still, you still got 15 or 16 minutes. I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know which one you're referring to. You're here in time. Yes. 66. Oh, we're so close. Oh, almost done. You're talking about the cube. I keep thinking about the cube. Oh, I think the cube's gonna finish before we hit 69. It's very close.
Maybe one more layer. Oh, we only need one more. One more like to one more layer. No. Giveaway starts 15 minutes. The giveaway is open though, so oh, it's there, we got it. Let's do. Go! Thank you, everybody. Nice. Sick. It finished. And it didn't come off the bed. I thought there was a chance it was gonna come off because the pretty good stick too. First layer might be a hair close, like, hold on. I really don't think this is that bad. Considering it's gray, you know, which always shows the worst possible, like, artifacting. We don't have input shaping yet. The first layer is really not bad. Like, I'm feeling the edges, like, maybe I can back off a hair, but there's no gaps, and it doesn't feel real smushed to me. Extrusion, it might be over extruding a hair. There's a little bit of stringing in the center cavity, so maybe temperature needs to be slightly less for the speed because it does have a large melt zone. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. Zombie, man, 42 stinking months, dude. Thank you so much for the 42 months. That's incredible. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Without flow testing, image shaping, yeah, test disc. I'll do a test disc for you. Not right this second, but I will. You'll get your test disc. The dark rock bed is really nice. What, I mean, it's just PEI, right? Like, obviously it's a black PEI, but is there anything else that's real unique about it? It looks nice. I'm not saying it doesn't look nice. Do you think it looks really nice? Just curious if there's anything else outside of like black PEI that's unique about it. It's thick. Thank you for the banana. It has been a long time since I've seen a banana in my chat. Okay, so let's try to do the LEDs here. Let's just try to do what Zombie sent over, which is this. So, automatic installation. This module can be installed into an existing Klippain installation with an install script. Let's do that. That's fine. Are we still? No, we can't. Yeah. Wait, no, we are still connected. Why is paste not working? I don't understand. Copy? Yes. There we go. Okay. Your directory structure differs. They finally moved my. I've been slacking. Finally. Oh, you've had a bunch of meetings on Wednesdays. I just thought you got. I mean, you did get busy with life. I just thought you got busy with life. I think it's better quality than your typical PEI plate. Got it. They finally moved my. The carbon fiber plates. What material are you mean like true carbon fiber? Because there was one point where I was testing out a carbon fiber plate by Wham Bam, and it wasn't bad. I definitely had, like, it didn't have as good adhesion, in my opinion, to PEI, but it wasn't bad. And I think for certain materials, it was probably quite good. But yeah, powder coated PEI has just kind of been my thing. Good thing you didn't have to watch me install Calico last night. Was it rough? You're planning any shows here? I don't have any shows planned right now, Armor. Everything's really up in the air. Like, yeah, right now with the kiddo, like, I'm trying to not leave as much as possible because it's just a struggle. Like, Landon is not sleeping good, so Aaron is kind of always really tired. He's had tons of gas issues, and we've tried a bunch of different things, but it's just been rough. And so yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Last year I had the dream that I'd be going to the Japanese Rep Fest this year, but that's not happening. And yeah, I don't know. I will report. I will let you guys know. Yeah, because yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If I can figure out something for a show later in the year when Landon's a little bit older, and maybe I can swing something where, like, I'm able to figure out like a partial sponsorship of sorts, and then maybe. But I don't know. Beacon Glacier sheets are by far the best. I like BQ's cryo grip plates. They're pretty rad. I still think I like powder coated PEI better as all-round plates, but they definitely work well. They stick well. And I can see, they're probably the most unique plate in my opinion that I've used ever outside of like my transition to powder coated PEI. They definitely, for anyone that's having adhesion issues, at least with certain materials that they're compatible with, it bites down really freaking hard. Yeah, it bites down really hard. So, okay. 9 minutes left, and then we are gonna do the giveaway. So how do we, all I wanna do is, where's this is standalone figure, check out full printer. Simulator? No. Where's like the README? I know there's a video guide, but I don't want to watch the video guide right now. Question support, kind of bug, direct support, automatic installation, uninstall, configure, documentation. There we go. Okay. Adjustabilities are beginning to supersede RGB LEDs for their flexibility and reliability of use, with each individual element capable of displaying the entire spectrum of colors. Okay, so I think this is what NeoPixels is. I'm pretty sure it's NeoPixels. I could be wrong. NeoPixels, Monster 5 volts number, okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure. So let's pull up. Let's pull up this. Let's refresh this. Let's go here. I don't know if there's a section that contains this already. So let's do a chain count of 1. I don't know what the name of the pin is, but we should be able to grab it from here. RGB. And extruder. Okay, so it's gonna be THB. So where? Here we go. So it'll be THB, colon, bam, okay. I think that's right. I have the Target Plate 2. It's never let me down. Too bad it doesn't work with, it only works with PLA PTG. Got it. I was like, what do you mean it doesn't work with PLA? I was like, Tuxedo, what do you mean? Okay, basic layer definition. For our example printer, there's one NeoPixel ring with 16 LEDs that's situated in front panel. There are also 5 dots LEDs. Data pin, chain count 5. Okay. We'd like to make them breathe. Controlling the effects. Play the effect. Let's just see if we can do, is there just a rainbow command? I hope there's just a rainbow command. LED effect, rainbow. Rainbow. I'd be fine with just keeping it on rainbow for now and messing with more stuff later. So auto start true, controlling the effects, activating, deactivating, set LED effect, fading in and out, restarting template processing, additional effect level parameters, auto start true, frame rate, defining LEDs. Finding effect layers, some example palettes. Okay, so rainbow would be this. Alright, what am I doing? Okay. Even though that's clearly not set correctly. What do we call this? Just NeoPixel logo? It's probably fine. NeoPixel call it logo.
Oh, I missed the beginning of the stream because I was driving. Did you ever figure out the retraction? I did. It was, I think it was inside of, yeah, I did figure it out, but figured it out on like one of my late night sessions in here when I was like hashing through a bunch of the things on our list. I'm pretty sure it was something that existed inside of the Klicky homing override. And I ended up adjusting it a bit. I still kept a homing retract. I think I either deleted that or moved it, but I still have a homing retract, but I slightly moved it so that way it's more accurately placed in between the cable chain and my Klicky dock. And yeah, the biggest issue I ran into with the Klicky homing was sensorless homing was not working if I did X and Y at the same time. I had to do X, then wait, and then Y. So I added an M400 command based off of a thread I found from a couple years ago, and that seems to have made my homing like really repeatable and reliable. Hey Quinty, the giveaway for Filament is open if you want to join in. Now is your time. So the thing I don't know right now is layers, blink, set LED effects. To activate the effect with different values for both the effect rate and cutoff, use the following command. Additional effect level parameters, frame rate, auto start, true, starts the effect on startup, that's fine for rainbow. Sets the frame rate in frames per second for the effect. Run on error, recalculate, enable layer template recalculation on effect activation. Don't need heater effect, analog pin, stepper, end stop, don't need that, don't need that. So we did that. What is this? Additionally, when we decide to only have certain LEDs displaying the effect, okay. We only have one LED. Defining effect layers. Name, effect rate, cutoff, blending mode, color palette. I don't fully... Wait. This is a lot more involved than I was hoping for right this second. There's a lot, let's see. An event of particular LEDs, red, medium, red idle temperature. Why do they not have just a setup for rainbow? It gave me the colors for rainbow, but I'm not sure. Cyclone. A light moves between each end of the strip. That won't do. Comet. A light moves to the LEDs that dictate. Pattern. The palette is applied on a recurring pattern on the chain and shifted along the chain. The effect remains no. Twinkle. Random flashes of light with decay along a strip. We don't have a strip though. Colors in the palette are blended in a linear gradient across the length of the strip. We don't have a strip. Maybe because we don't have a strip, LEDs are turned fully on and fully off. That sounds terrifying. Linear fade. LEDs fade through the colors. Okay, that sounds possibly like what we want. So, effect rate cutoff palette. Let me see, is there an example of it configured? Sorry for everyone, I'm scrolling like really aggressively. Strobe breathing static. I would think this is going under layers. And I would think that this is maybe what we want to have. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Hold on. Is this gonna work? I don't know. We're gonna find out though. So it looks like, okay, these need to be strobe breathing static. It looks to me like these need to be like this. But effect rate,
effect rate cannot be there based off this. This cannot be right. Something is off here. Is it because of the large gaps? No. Critical error. So they're telling it which LEDs we want to assign it to. They're having different layers. So strobe in a value, breathing in a value, auto start, frame rate, run error. These must be the colors that they're assigning. Yeah, the first print turned out good though. There was no, hey, get in the giveaway. We're gonna do the drawing in like 1 or 2 minutes here. Some example patterns. Okay, we got our pattern. Layers, breathing. There are several effects to choose from. A single not used but must be provided. Cut off, not used but must be provided. Okay, let's just for fun try this with like nothing happening really. Okay, let's just try. What? I don't even know how you define the colors. RGB. How would, is it just like RGB numeric? Oh my god, I can't type. Numeric assignment table? Like, I don't exactly know what RGB color codes chart. Okay, so let's go for like a blue. Wait. Let's go for like a light blue. Come on. Okay, 0, 255, and 0, 255, and 255. So the question I have then is 0, 255, 255. I'm not entirely convinced that's gonna work, but let's just see. At least if this works, like I can play around. I'm likely just gonna have it set up where it has a solid color by default, and I can click like a rainbow button to turn it off. That's likely what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'll go much further than that. No. Rotation distance must be specified. What? Excuse me? Rotation distance should absolutely be specified. Did I delete my... That's weird. I must have deleted this on accident? Or maybe I just moved it down. Let's see really quick before I do this. Extruder. There we are. I have a feeling I just shifted it. I don't think I deleted it. Yeah, it's just, there we go. That was my bad. Needs to go here. Okay. Effect rate is not valid in section LED effect rainbow. effect rate not used but must be provided. Okay. Effects rate. Nope. Maybe I can just set these to 0 then, since it says not used but must be provided. Let's try this. 0, 0. Maybe. Nope. The effect rate is not valid in section LED rainbow effect. Why? Oh no, Penguin. We're gonna end it in a sec here. Like, I'll probably go for like a couple more minutes. But I gotta spend more time on this. LED effect. Maybe it's because we don't need. Hold on. It's probably not supposed to be under layers. LEDs. Auto start. Try without the braces? Or is it brackets? Brackets. But it says that it's the extruder or effect rate that's not working. Let me see what it looks like in one of their examples down here. Oh, come on. Here we go. Frame start 24, auto start true. Their examples don't have effect rate 1, duration of point cycle, cutoff. Linear fade, static, effect rate not used but must be provided. A single color is displayed. Sensia potential config. All right. I'll take a look at it later. I'll get this figured out. Right now, I'm just kind of throwing stuff at the wall. I think that if I'm 99% sure if I just watched Adam's video on it, which I have watched, but it's been years, then it'll make sense. I just need to see an example. I mean, I'm reading through it and seeing a bunch of examples, but they're kind of like split up. And the thing I'm not understanding is like, most of these effects have a value called effect rate, but there are 2 examples at the very bottom don't contain that value. So I'm just not sure why that's the case. Maybe, no, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Try ChatGPT, it's decently helpful. Yeah, I think that this is probably simple enough that ChatGPT actually could help. I don't love it for like super complex things, but for something like this with LEDs, I'm sure it could spit it out pretty easily. All right, we are officially in 60 seconds closing the giveaway. I am removing it right now from chat. So if you're filling it out, you've got another, oh yeah, you've got another minute here. That's what I did. It does great with Clipper stuff. Yeah, I've seen some people complaining about it, and like I get it. I'm sure there's differences of opinions on things, but I mean the reality is for a lot of this stuff, like if it's just for yourself, if it works, then it works. There's been a lot of times where I am staring at some Clipper thing, not fully understanding it, trying to understand it, and a lot of it's just like trial and error of a change of value, nope, that doesn't work, change it back, change the next value, nope, it doesn't work. And so if it can help you like shortcut to the end, that's really nice, because not everybody, even myself included, has like infinite hours to just troubleshoot. I try to, and I do think that troubleshooting and coming to the conclusion on your own is really rewarding, but that only gets you so far. All right, let's do the thing. How many? 103 responses. Nice. That's a lot of pretty good amount of entries here. We will download all responses. We will open all the responses. We will extract all the responses. And then we will upload again. Upload. Replace existing, yes. Okay. So there should be 103 of y'all. If there's not, yep, we got 103. Yay! It hasn't been messing up in a while. When we first were doing this, like it would drop a name or two, and I was feeling really bad because like if you entered in, my goal is not to cheat anybody, but the Google Docs was just doing weird stuff. But it seems like for the last probably 6 months to a year, like it's been fine now. So, all right, complex stuff or stuff, or let's see, complex stuff or will happily lie to you. But simple stuff work pretty well. Yeah, that's fair. It likes to keep the conversation going dangerous. I prefer it said. I'm not sure, but maybe this and that. Yeah, it would. That's definitely the scariest part of at least current LLMs. Is that they can regurgitate or display information in a way where like it's a matter of fact when it's not a matter of fact. I use AI sparingly. Like for my YouTube scripts, I type them all up myself and then basically post it in and say, hey, like, can you check this for clarity or repetitiveness? And like sometimes it helps me catch things like, oh, you use this certain word like 88 times, like maybe change up how you say it or maybe don't repeat it so often. I'm like, thank you. But anytime it's like for anything that's more technical or research related, like if it can't provide a source that I can reference, I'm always really skeptical because it's caught, like I've caught it quite a few times. Like, okay, real quick, last thing, we're gonna do this real quick. So I was trying to use it to calculate like calorie counting and meal prepping and stuff like that, right? When I started this health thing like a month and a half ago. And so I was like feeding it everything, taking photos of what I was eating, and like it was doing pretty good. But then on like day 3 or day 4, it like completely messed things up, and it gave me incorrect stats. And I said, are you sure about that? It said, yeah, like I took this, that. And so I went back and looked at it and said, no, this is incorrect. Like you did this and this and that. And it replied to me, oh, that's right. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't be saying, oh, that's right. Like the whole point of me using you to track data is like, you need to be able to track data. So, but it said it so correctly until I called it out. It was like, no, that's not right. And then it's like, it backpedaled and was like, oh, that's, I see now. And I'm like, it's, yeah. Anyways, you should use HW monitor to check your temps. If a PC is getting slower, the temps are the best indicator that you need to repaste or clean your fans. Nice. HW hardware monitor. Is that what it's called? Or are you just saying like a hardware monitor program? If it is called HW Monitor, then I will absolutely check it out. Let me do a quick paste real quick here. Yeah, HW Monitor is the software, CPU ID. Maybe, yeah, it's done. Sounds like every manager I've worked with. Okay, anyways, let's do this. Let's do this, y'all. I gotta get going. Where's the wheel? All right, how many times do we want to spin it today? Or shuffle it, not spin it, shuffle it. Yeah, it looks like it's CPU ID. You can do really complex stuff with all of them, so you just have to break them up and use a good harness like open code. How do you enter? It's closed. I'm sorry. It was open for like 40 minutes. There'll be one next week. I always do them like typically an hour and a half to 2 hours in the stream, and they're open for at least 30 minutes. 8, 13, 12, 11. We'll do 11. I don't know why we've got 11's not one we normally get. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good luck to all of you awesome people in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Hey, Reverend! I don't know if you've won before. I know I've chatted with you a fair amount of times, so like name's real familiar in my head, but I don't know if you won on this channel. Congratulations, one way or another. Reverend64, you are this week's winner. Thank you everybody for entering in, and yeah, we'll do this next week, same time, same place. My goal between now and then is, because I got the rest of the foam tape, that I will get the front door on. I will get some kind of LED configured. I'll take a look at whatever you sent over, Zombie, later today, and then try to get the system updated and see if I can get Input Shaper running. And outside of that, like, it is done. It is a wrap. Like I can't believe it. Like it printed. I'm really happy. I'm quite proud. I don't know where the cube went, but it's not bad for a first cube with no tuning. And there will definitely be a full review of this on the main channel. It'll probably be 45 to 60 days out though. I've got a few other bigger printers and projects I'm testing out. And next week we will start on the Mark IV to Mark IVS conversion. Once we're done with the Mark IVS conversion, we'll basically tear down the Mark IVS and build the Core 1 Plus. So that's the next thing in the immediate build future. So I am very excited. Thank you everybody for joining me on this journey, this first printer build of the year and end of 2025. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with the end result, really. So on that note, I will see you guys next week. Thank you everyone for joining me today and for liking and commenting and helping me try to figure out the different things as we troubleshooted the Z offset as well as the LEDs and probably some other stuff as well. And thank you to our members, all of our new members, all of our existing members, as well as our donations. I appreciate you guys' support. And thank you to Playmaker. Once again, congratulations to Reverend. On that note, hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. There will not be a video this Saturday, but I am working on wrapping up my video review of the Revo Point Metro Y 3D scanner. Which the video is not gonna just be on the scanner. It's gonna be about like 3D scanning, my experience with it, my lack of experience with it, what I've learned, pain points, like not just about the thing, but like the whole realm of 3D scanning at this point and where we're at. So I will cover a lot, but try to be concise. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's definitely still more of a tool than a turnkey solution, but the whole experience has been way better than what my experience was. I think it was like 8 years ago at this point. It was so bad. It was so bad. So yeah, I'm really excited. But yeah, I'm gonna, at that point, bow out, try to get to Jack's Gymnastics, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you.